Hello, my name is Isaac Hong, and here is a little progress report on the application that I want to make. So let's jump right into it.
So my friend Charlie and we're trying to open a bubble tea shop together, and to help out, I want to think of some marketing strategies that we can incorporate to our business. One of them being a loyalty program. I know I follow a few loyalty programs like H&M, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, and they all seem to have a similar aspect in this terms of like points or different membership rankings, and it's reminiscent to something I learned in class. So a lot of the things that other businesses are doing is reminiscent of a thing called gamification. Gamification being adding game elements in our context as an online marketing technique to encourage consumers to engage with our business more. And one part of gamification that we learned was SAPS, which is an acronym that acts as a reward system that helps motivate people to do stuff. So when you hear SAPS, you don't really know what it stands for, Does it involve trees, tree sap, plants, nothing like that. It's an acronym for status, access, power, and stuff. Let's go over status. And when I say status, I don't mean like a condition that someone's under. I'm more referring to like someone's ranking or tier amongst a business, something along those lines. So a lot of loyalty programs have different statuses. Like I know Chick-fil-A and Uber have statuses. Uber has like blue, gold, platinum, and Chick-fil-A has like regular, silver, red, and signature. And these offer a form of milestone or visual representation for the user to strive towards that helps them quote unquote stay in the game. Our app will do something similar where we'll have ranks like bronze, silver, gold, diamond, bubble tea master, something like that. And I think the most important part will be to have clear guidance towards our expectations. Like this is what you need to do to rank up, and giving that kind of clear pathway allows the user to stay engaged and have something to work towards. But these statuses need something to reinforce that, and that's where the other parts of the acronym SAPS comes into play. Access in our context would encourage users who have used the app to have exclusive deals. The higher status they are, the more we'll reward them for being loyal to us with different merchandise. Like if you're a diamond tier boba tea drinker, then you can have a diamond bubble tea like hoodie or hat, stuff like that. Power in the terms of our business, I feel like it's kind of hard to incorporate. Like you see it a lot in like Kickstarter, where if you donate a certain amount of money, you have specific influences over the business and the choices that they make. And I think a good way that we can do it is like with different polls. Like we have 3 new flavors coming out, and you get to choose one that goes on sale for the first week, that when all the flavors drops, it's on sale. And the higher ranking you are, the more power you have on these polls, the more influence that you can have. And this can be not just for drinks, it can be for merchandise, stuff like that, events even. And finally, we get to stuff. And I think stuff, the best way it's incorporated throughout all of these loyalty programs is the point systems. Points are one of the most widely used elements of loyalty programs. And they're a popular element because they're treated as a form of currency that can be redeemed for a variety of rewards that appeal to most types of customers, and allowing the customers to earn points for even the smallest actions like logging in, setting up their profile. That immediate gratification makes them feel successful and wants to keep going. And we can have stuff like contests, raffles, draws, and having these limited time bonuses can be a good way to spark participation in these programs, especially if there's like a lucrative reward at stake. So to summarize, our point system would work when they make a purchase. There's going to be a flat exchange rate, like $1 equals 15 points. But if you're a higher status, like if you're a gold status, maybe you can get $1 for 20 points. And we'll run things like polls and raffles that can just come in from time to time that offer points, or just even like a MacBook Pro or something as a reward that encourages people to get the app and stay active. But besides SAPs, I feel like there's other forms of gamifications that we can incorporate into our app that'll encourage user engagement, like a quest system. Fortnite, Hearthstone, they have daily quests that pop up, and from time to time I check those daily quests and be like, oh, what can I do today? Is this something I can do something easy? And the main point of these quests would be to encourage them to go on the app every day and encourage them to make a bigger size purchase and to make a purchase for that day. And I think a good example of 3 quests that line up perfectly would be like to claim a free drink, make an order of at least $10, and make a pickup order. This quest system accomplishes 4 things. The user will be curious and they'll be like, oh, I wonder what quest I have today. They'll open the app. They're like, oh, I have a free drink on a limited time period. I need to redeem that, otherwise I'm going to lose a free drink. But if they see the other quest, they're like, oh, might as well make another order of $10, get my homies a drink as well on top of my free drink. And making a pickup order through the app allows the user to be like, oh, okay, well, might as well visit the brick and mortar location and get familiarized, be more comfortable going there. And I think having these 3 quests encourages interaction between both the consumer and our business. I think a good gamification element that we can incorporate into our app would be a referral system. A lot of games in general have a referral system where it's like refer a friend, receive these products, or receive this stuff. And there was a study done on Nielsen.com where it leveled consumer trust in online social and mobile advertisements, and 92% of consumers trust a business more when it's referred to them by someone that they know. And by having this referral system set up, we can have it so if you refer someone, you get basic stuff. And I think referring should be easy, a simple button to text message that we can personalize and make it into make it about us, make it about our company. And I don't think it should be difficult to refer someone. There could be other forms of sharing as well. Like if you take a picture through the app and post it on something like Instagram or share it with your friends. When you visit our brick and mortar location, there's a popular social media app called Be Real, where it's like, oh, take a picture within this time frame, and everyone gets to see what you're doing within that time frame. That's kind of the idea of it. And we can have us like every time you visit the business and make a purchase, be like, oh, if you take a picture within the next 30 minutes, you can receive points, receive perks, stuff like that. And I know Tesla, they have this gamification element where they incorporate a form of leaderboards where they track the least amount of CO2 emissions, like how much CO2 emissions you could have saved. And maybe we could have a leaderboard too, where it's like the people who make the most purchases or visit the most times. You can share that with your friends and be like, hey, I'm on top of the leaderboard. It creates this kind of like friendly competition with the rest of the consumers that encourages consumers to stay engaged. So a lot of these gamification elements, a lot of these loyalty programs, they're done by big corporations. And they use these systems, but they have a lot of money so they can afford it. But how can a small startup company like me and Charlie's compete with those big corporations? And I think that's more on the marketing side of things, like customer lifetime value, cost per acquisition of customer. And these things require variables and knowledge about our consumer base that we can keep track of so then we can efficiently market towards our target demographic. CLV and CPA in a nutshell is kind of like CLV stands for customer lifetime value, which is how much value does one customer present to our business in their lifetime. Like let's say it's a real estate agent, then the CLV of a customer would be probably just one house. Very rarely do they buy 2 houses, maybe 1.5 houses worth. And CPA is how much money does it cost to acquire one customer. And to have an efficient CPA, we need the CLV first, so we can be like, oh, if the CLV a customer presents to us is like $1,000, then we shouldn't spend more than $1,000 to acquire a customer. And I think having a ceiling is a good way of doing that, like a 10% ceiling. So if it's $1,000, we can spend $100 per customer, and then their CLV is still $900 for the rest of their life. And that sounds kind of dark, but it isn't. It's just how it works. And CLV kind of comes in a distribution curve where there's going to be like 20% of people will be a bottom percent of CLV, 60 will be in the middle, 20 will be in the high, just the standard distribution curve. And it's important to understand these types of distribution curves and where these consumers come from. Because let's say the top 20% of CLV comes from, word of mouth customers, referrals, but then the bottom 20% comes from like Facebook ads, and that's just not where our demographic resides. So instead of wasting resources towards the bottom 20%, we should funnel more resources to where the consumers come from in the top 20%. This is where our app can come in to save the day, where we can use the app to kind of track consumers, track their CLV, track their CPA, and which marketing streams that they come from. And we can do this easily with just by how many purchases they made within a certain cycle, the average amount that they make per purchase, the average profits that we gain from a customer or consumer in a percentage, and how long a consumer is active with us before they churn. And these are things that we can just track with the purchase that they made. And we can also offer points for users setting up their profile, like physical age, favorite item on the store, how they heard about our company, their gender, and this can help us create a ideal consumer model that we can base our marketing strategies off of. And the app can also pull in these stats and kind of calculate the average profit before a consumer churns, the average inflation rate, or how many consumers we retain a month, or how many unique consumers we've gained since the last month, and the amount of purchases made within that time frame. And these can all be connected to these types of marketing streams, and our app can use a sort of algorithm to take a look at the statistics and calculate which marketing streams result in the highest CLV with the lowest CPA, and kind of funnel our resources into that. Or even if it's not the lowest CPA, we can figure out a way to streamline and make that marketing stream more efficient, where we can lower the CPA while maintaining that CLV from consumers we gain from that channel. Once finals over during winter break, that's when we're going to kind of work on everything, pull everything together, and we'll see how it goes.